Hi everyone, welcome back. I am Jen. I am a home gardener in Zone 6B in Western New York, and happy April 1st. I can't believe it's April 1st. March flew by in my garden. I don't know if you're feeling the same way. And today I just want to take a look around, my garden, see what's waking up, see what's starting to change and come to life, and I thought I would share it with you. The first thing that's kind of catching my attention over here are my hellebores. This is the Ice and Roses series, and I trimmed back the old growth, and you can see that they are starting to bloom and looking gorgeous. Look at that. Just beautiful. And they're mainly in the shade in this back corner here, but you can see this one's getting some nice sunlight, which they do appreciate some sunlight. Let's take a look at this other one here. Beautiful. I do have another one that I planted over here. Let me back up a little here. You can see, I'm not sure if something kind of chomped on this, but you can see there's new growth coming up. I don't remember clipping the old growth off of this one, so yeah, there's something new starting to sprout there, so that'll be beautiful as well. I pruned all of my hydrangeas except for this last one on the other side. I ran out of time, so the day I was pruning my hydrangeas. So this is another limelight on the corner here, and I'll be getting to that shortly. It's so beautiful, that hellebore. It just kind of pops in the sunlight there. Love that. This is my newly pruned candy mint crabapple tree. It's going to have a nice bloom this spring. Here I have 3 northern gold forsythias, and you can see they're starting to bud up and bloom. Look at that. It's going to be a beautiful show with these. I love when they turn yellow, and it's just such a bold, bright statement in the spring. I did force some forsythia blooms inside, which was really easy. What you want to do is come out in late winter, early spring, but at a time where, the plant is still dormant, and you can just cut off some branches, and then you want to take them inside and put them in a sunny location in some warm water, and you should have some blooms within, I would say within the week. I think mine did bloom within the week. And that was something nice to have at the end of winter. The emerald green arborvitaes, they're looking good, nice and lush. And just down here, I have my autumn joy sedum, and that's starting to push forth some new growth. Nice and beautiful. Look at that. I love it. Looks like little rosebuds. Love it, love it. And my ivory halo red twig dogwood is still looking really beautiful. Look at all that color. Wow. You can see I have a lot of leaf foliage that's fallen to the base of the plant. I have that all over, and we will eventually start to clean that up. Looks like there's a piece of something in there. Let's see if I can grab it. Just a little piece of plastic. I also wanted to show you how my winter sowing has been doing. I did, let's see, how many jugs do I have? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 jugs. This is my first attempt at winter sowing. And I have seen some growth. Now, I haven't done a thing to these. I haven't watered them, but in my area, I feel like we get enough rain and snow to really provide the moisture needed. We shall see. Like I said, it's my first year, but this is, for example, this is Bachelor's Button called the Bride. Let's take a look inside. Look at that. Look at all that new growth. So that is looking great. I don't think everything is coming up yet, but let's check. Let's check another one here. This is Forget-Me-Nots from American Seed. Let's take a look. I don't know, it's hard for me to see. There might be one or two. I think there's one or two. See, I can see a little bit happening there. Okay, this is my lavender. Let's take a look in there and see. I don't see much happening there. Here is Shasta Daisy. I do see some growth in there, as you can see. And I don't see anything in this bluegrass just yet. Nothing really in there. And my Bells of Ireland, I don't see anything in there either yet. So let's take a look over on this other side. Let's see, this was my cut flower. This was like a mix, a cut flower mix from Botanical Interests. Ooh, look at that. There's all kinds of things happening there. I did kind of overseed everything, I have to admit. So, ooh, my poppies are coming up too. These are the California Extra Golden Poppy from American Seed. I do see a lot happening in there. Oops, sorry. Let me focus here. A lot happening in there. Wow. Bachelor's Button. I think all my Bachelor's Button have been coming up and looking good. And my Snapdragon, I don't know if there's anything in there. I don't think anything's happening in my Snapdragon container yet. So, I don't know. I feel like this is positive. I feel like things are going as expected for my zone, and considering the weather right now, I will be sure to continue to update you. But I've enjoyed it. This is fun. I just want to show you, I do have some tulips that I brought out, and they're kind of protected here by the house. So if we do dip down a little bit, I think they've sort of been protected in this area, but they're coming up really nicely and they look really strong. So I can't remember exactly what's in this container. I feel like towards the end, when I was potting up all of my tulips, I just kind of threw anything I could together and in a pot just to get it planted and ready to go. But I think those are looking really beautiful. So I'm excited I have a lot of containers of tulips this year. So let me take you over to the shed and I can show you what I, overwintered in the shed. I'm loving this green grass. Okay, let's go in here and see how our tulips are looking. Ooh, everything is looking good. Wow. Okay. A lot happening here. Look at that. What is going on there? Look at that. Isn't that funny? It was just kind of sitting there just like that. I don't know. It must have just been laying right on the soil and whoop, grew up with that little stalk there. But everything is really looking great here. This guy is kind of caught under here. Let's bring him out. I also really planted these tightly together too. Let's see here. I felt like this container when I checked on it last was a little bit slow, but you do see they're coming up. They're just taking their time, but they're there, and in this container too. Really great. I'm so excited, and I haven't watered this guy in a while. We shall see what happens here. Asparagus fern. I feel like I've been neglecting these two. I watered them a little while ago, but they still feel like they could be a little bit moist. So we shall see what happens with those guys. And I do have, this is where I overwinter my clematis. And when that starts to shoot up some green, we will take that out as well. And I just have my geranium there. My first time overwintering geranium, so we will see how that comes to life, hopefully comes to life for me. And here I am in my garage. I just wanted to show you what the tulips are looking like in my garage. And I almost feel like they're not looking as strong. They're a little floppy in here, and I'm wondering if it's because I left them in here and it could have been a little bit warmer. Maybe they weren't getting as much sun through the window, but I thought about bringing some of these containers out and just putting them on the porch. I'm not sure yet because I know we still are going to get a couple of nights that might dip down into the 20s this week, but anyways, they're just looking different than the ones that I overwintered in my shed, and not quite sure the reason for that. If you think you know, please let me know in the comments. This is the Snow Fountain Weeping Cherry Tree, and I can see that it's starting to bud up, and it will be blooming a beautiful white show in the next coming weeks. And my Stella de Oro daylilies. All of these need to desperately be divided because I have several in my yard and they're all getting very, very large. So maybe I'll do that this spring. My spirea starting to wake up. You can see that red color. And let's take a look at this is the Generous Gardener Climbing Rose. That is looking good. A lot of green going on. Let's come over and take a look at the other side. Looking very good. I'm going to be pruning this, just not a lot because it's in its first season really. I planted it last spring, so this is its first full season, I guess you'd say. So I'm not going to, prune it heavily, but I am going to, take a closer look at it and cut off some of the dead. I can probably prune this down a bit because this looks a little bit not as healthy as when you go further in and you see more of the green. So, and I'll get rid of any of this old leaf debris. There's not much because we do get a lot of wind here, and I'll probably put some compost at the base. I do feel like I have a lot of dead growth. Like my arborvitaes, these are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 emerald green arborvitaes that I planted last summer into the fall season, and they weren't watered properly, so I do feel like these are looking a little bit rough. So I'm hoping that they kind of bounce back and look better, as the spring approaches and as summer comes. And I think we definitely need to make sure these are watered well. They probably could use some water right now. But anyways, they're not looking as good as the ones I have on the other side. Like you can see, you can just kind of see the color on those. And then if I just span over to the ones on the other side, they look so much greener and more lush. The beautiful bark on the river birch. So beautiful. I am just right in front of my shed and looking at this is the Proven Winners double coated butter pecan. You can see what it's supposed to look like, and I planted this out in the fall, and it honestly doesn't look great. And this is the second time I've tried to plant an echinacea here, and I did the same thing last year, the year before last, I should say, and nothing came up. It never rooted, so I'm not quite sure. I have 4 of them here. Here's another one here. I did just prune these down. I had left them up. Another one here. Not looking too great. And I have another one here as well. Let's see, anything coming up? Oh, this one looks like there could be some life there. That would be great. Oh, yes. Okay, we have hope. Hopefully those other ones will come up too. Oh, look at that beautiful leaf. Is that an oak leaf? How beautiful. I'm just round the corner here now, and I don't know if you remember, I planted out a ton of vinca vine, and you can see that it's all green. And this will be great because I can use it for containers. The vinca vine is a trailer for my container. I can pop in a picture to show you what the vinca vine looks like in a container, but I ended up just, putting several of these just on the side of the shed here, and I made a little vinca vine village. And I don't remember what I planted here. What was it? I think it was something that typically does not come back in my zone, but I just wanted to see. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. And this little guy, this was the microfiber grass, which is typically an annual. I thought, oh, maybe if I put it here and it's in between the heuchera, it would come back. But not sure. I don't know if that came back or not. And then I just have 2 heuchera that are going to be beautiful, but they're looking kind of floppy. I left them in the pot here. This is the Primo Peachberry Ice. I need to trim. We just need to trim that back. And then this was a heucherella over here. And you can see some new, or some protected growth, I should say, down in there. But this is a heucherella, and I'll have to be cutting this one back as well. I wanted to show you, I had planted, oh, by the way, I'm super excited. We're going to be removing our stakes this year. We usually leave our stakes in for our trees longer than they recommend, just because from prior experience, I think we found that in our area with the wind and all kinds of things that we like to leave them in a little bit longer. So you'll see here, this is my Crimson Century Norway maple tree. I think we're going to take the stake off that one, and we'll have to see. This is a grafted tree, and you can see there. I haven't really liked this tree because I don't feel like it's reached its potential yet. Maybe that's why I don't like it, but it just kind of leafed out last year and then just kind of flopped. So I'm hoping that it looks a little bit better this year and will be bright and beautiful. It has gotten pretty tall. This will be its 3rd summer, because I planted it in June. I think it was June of 2023. So we're coming up on 2 years this June. But anyways, I think we're going to take the stakes, remove those stakes, and it'll be on its own. Anyway, just coming over here, I had planted 2 white rose of Sharon. So here's one. And I thought this would be beautiful. I think this is, yeah, you can see that's green. I thought this would be beautiful just to kind of fill in the space between both of these evergreen trees. And I know that the white rose of Sharon, it does spread around and it can get pretty lush and full. So I just thought it would be beautiful in that spot. And I do have another one. Let's try and find it here. I have another one that I planted over here somewhere, but then I think a bunny came and, oh, here it is. It's right here. So, not quite sure if this is alive. Ooh, just pricked myself with a Vanderwolf pine needle. That's green. That's green, so hopefully this will start growing. Speaking of needles and Vanderwolf pine, looking gorgeous. Look at that. We'll take the stake off this one as well. But you can see it kind of cleaned itself of all of the old needles, and they're all fallen to the ground. I'll probably rake those out. I do have another grass to prune down, a miscanthus grass. I did prune a couple already. This is a summerific hardy hibiscus. This is Perfect Storm. Those are one of the last things to come up in your garden, so I'm not expecting anything from those for quite some time. And you can still see I have quite a mess here still of pots. For as many as I cleaned up back in the fall, I still had several that I never got to. But as you can see, there's a lot of grasses. In fact, this one looks like it overwintered for me. This is the blue mohawk, I believe it is. And I don't think that's supposed to be hardy in my zone. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. But that would be great if it overwintered, because I could use that as a thriller. And this container here, I just stuck a bunch of different clumps of ornamental grass. Oh gosh, look at that. Oh, I don't know if these are going to survive. Look at that. It's full of water. Let's see if I can dump it over. Ooh. I don't know why that didn't drain. That definitely needed to be drained. Well, I might have killed all of those if they were sitting in all that water. I do not know. We'll have to see. But anyways, what I was going to say is that I had been dividing my grasses just from around my yard, in the front mainly, and using them as thrillers in my containers. I found that to be one of the garden hacks that I have been enjoying, because sometimes, you spend quite a bit of money trying to make containers, and a garden hack is to use your ornamental grasses. If you have several different kinds in your yard, you can just simply take a little clump, divide it, and it will grow up and usually does really well in containers. So I plan to do that again this year. I also have some creeping Jenny, which you can see a lot of this is dead here, right? Let me pull it out. But you can see that there, pull some of the dead stuff out, but look at the new stuff coming. You see that? That'll be beautiful. I could probably even just leave it in that container and plant it up with some other things. This here is lamb's ear. I can't remember the variety. I'll put it up. But I can prune this back as well, and this should grow back for me. It looks like a big mess, but definitely things that will come back and look beautiful for this year's garden. Well, those are just a few things that I have that are looking good and starting to come to life in my late March, early April spring garden. So I was happy to be able to share some things with you. I hope that you are enjoying time in your garden as well, looking around and appreciating all that's blooming and coming to life, and just enjoying time outside, enjoying time with nature. I know that I had a really busy week last week, and I enjoyed it. I wasn't really able to get out into the garden, but my son was home for spring break. My youngest son, he's a sophomore in high school, and I wanted to spend time with him. So we ended up going for 2 really enjoyable hikes. We did the Devil's Hole State Park. It's the Devil's Hole Trail. I don't live far from Niagara Falls and the Lower Niagara River in Lake Ontario, so we did the Devil's Hole Trail, and I'll include some clips here. It was a really fun day. And we just started Devil's Hole Trail. Pretty amazing to look at all the rock, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you think I can climb up these?
Mm-mm. It's the Lower Niagara River. We can hear it. Okay, want to keep walking? Okay, we made it down to the bottom.
Truth be told, guys, she didn't think she would make it down this far.
And this is the Lower Niagara River, where the rapids are incredibly powerful. You can see how fast the water is moving. Very dangerous water. You see somebody fishing down there. It's a beautiful day, isn't it, Ty?
It is.
Gorgeous day. And we climbed all the way down the trail, and the trail continues on. So we're gonna hike along the trail for a bit. The water looks so blue, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Take a photo of me.
Well, we can't go any further. Trail is closed beyond this point due to fallen rocks.
Oh, it says opened written over it.
Yeah, somebody wrote open.
Oh.
Wow. Look at all, even beyond there. You can see beyond how, I wonder how they even move these, or if they do. So that hike was a lot of fun. We also recently did the Art Park State Trail, and that's also along the Lower Niagara River, and that was a great trail as well. So I'm going to include some clips of that as well. Art Park State Trail. It's beautiful here.
Look at it
You
down here.
watch the edge. A lot of water coming down from the snow melting and the rain. Lower Niagara River. There's a ton of rock. Fallen rock zone, so we're paying very close attention, aren't we, Ty?
Yes.
We're listening very astutely to any cracks. Lewiston Queenston Bridge over to Canada. That's Canada right across the way. It's amazing how fast the water moves. And you can see all the little whirlpools. I like this trail.
We just climbed down a bunch of like stone stairs. Those aren't that.
I know I should have video recorded where we climbed down. Right? Oh well. We'll keep going. Look at that. Beautiful moss. So pretty. You can hear the sound of the Lewiston-Queenston Bridge and the trucks, cars traveling over. The United States on this side, and Canada just across the way. Wow. Let's take a look. Woo! And baseball season has begun for my middle son, who's a senior in high school. So he had a couple of games this week, and we also did mass and breakfast with his baseball team. So that was really nice, and just a lot going on. I went to my nephew's hockey game and watched him win game 1 of his playoffs. Good job, Jake. So we were happy to go and support him, and just really had a full, busy week. So I will be getting out into the garden more and more, and I'll definitely be sure to share everything with you. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.